We're here today at Whistler checking out G Atherton's Trek Session 9.9 29er race bike. At the heart of the bike is the carbon fibre front triangle, which is very similar to the 27.5-inch Model G previously raced. Out back, it's an alloy rear end. They've had to just change the configuration just to get all the geometry just right. But surprisingly, it's only the third generation of the bike it's taken to get this. And this is the same model that you can actually get now in the shops. So out back, you've got the ABP active braking pivot design, which means it's very active under braking. So you can get the maximum out of suspension while still having to haul it on the brakes. And it's running 200mm travel via Fox X2 shock at the moment. You might be surprised at that, because G has been running a coil shock, but recently he's been quite experimenting with the air shock and really likes it. He's got good base settings and he kind of varies between 2 or 3 clicks of compression and rebound either way. And the only real adjustment he'll make is in the volume spaces just to suit different courses. So at the front on G's bike, he's running about a 63-degree head angle. It's a stock cup in this. It can be adjusted to make it slack or steeper, but that's pretty much the base setting he runs from. And say approximately 63 degrees, it does depend on how he's running the forks in the crowns. Sometimes he's going to drop them down, sometimes he's going to run it the other way. His bar height pretty much remains the same. It's a 50mm stem and it's a 785mm bar. Doesn't tend to roll it too far back or forwards. It's fairly neutral on the bike at the moment. Up front on G's 29-inch race bike, of course, is the Fox 49 fork. They're starting to become a little bit more commonplace these days. And something else that's really cool on here we spotted is a new rad damper design on this. This takes care of high and low speed compression with a single dial. It may or may not be something you see in the future from Fox. So transmission wise on G's bike, he's got a Shimano Saint system on here. Up front is a 165mm crank and he's running Crankbrothers Mallet DH pedals. For those of you that want to know, he's running this cleats at a 15-degree setting that runs really far back on his shoes. It's a 36-tooth chainring with a Shimano Saint top and bottom chain guide, and it's got a bolt-on bash plate here. It's a 7-speed cassette and it's 1124, and he runs his clutch on. So rolling stock on G's bike, he's got the Bontrager line wheels, DH30 rims, so it's a 30mm internal size. He's running these tubeless with Bontrager G5 tyres. Obviously that's the 29-inch version. He's running them at 29 psi on the rear and 27 on the front, and he's got Bontrager sealant inside. So front and rear on G's bike, he's running Shimano Saint brakes with 203mm rotors. Interestingly, you'll see it's got a vibration damper on the rear brake here, and we're going to ask G a little bit about that to find out how it affects the braking on the bike. And another cool little custom thing on G's bike is the Shimano Saint levers. So his mechanic actually bend the end of the lever out, because he likes to just come off the end of the lever sometimes, doesn't always want to be hooked in on that really small lever they normally have. Finally, you'll notice on the bike it's got a Pro Tharsis 9.8 saddle and seat post combination. G likes to run this as low as he can possibly get it without having to suffer excessive tyre buzz under full travel. Okay, so we've got G Atherton with his pro bike here. Just going to find out a few more finer details about his setup. Obviously, this being a 29-inch wheel bike and it's only really coming to fruition this year, I want to know a little bit how about you came to transition from the 27.5 to this bike.
Well, it happened quite quickly, really. I mean, you know, we were testing early season, focusing on the 27.5 bike. The guys at Trek had the idea of the 29 and it was kind of on a back burner. And then as soon as we had that initial test and realised how good it was and how quickly we were getting on with it, suddenly the whole project kind of snowballed, got pushed forward, and suddenly it was on for the start of the race season.
And it was pretty much straight into a carbon frame from what I can make out.
Yeah, I mean, the guys at Trek were really passionate about, you know, the whole race side of it, and they didn't just want to bring us a bike, they wanted to bring us a bike that we could race and do well on. So, you know, going straight to carbon was key to that, and it seemed to work well.
And how did the setup transition vary for you? Obviously the 29-inch wheel thing, you've got a fairly low BB height and the whole dynamic of the bike is quite different to 27.5.
Yeah, I mean, the jump when we went from 26 to 27.5 was almost like we just altered the wheel size and that was it. And jumping from 27.5 to 29, literally everything changed, and that was quite difficult because, you know, the geometry was different, the suspension was different, the way the bike worked was different. You know, you had to adjust nearly every single thing on the bike to get used to it, and that was quite a big jump to make and still try and ride fast.
And how did the bike actually feel when you first got it compared to that smaller wheel size? Could you feel the instant speed benefits, or was it a case of it was literally faster on the clock?
It wasn't so much that it was a lot faster on the clock, you know, it wasn't I was suddenly knocking big chunks off, but it was the ease with which the speed came. You know, I was comfortable on the bike within a couple of runs. You know, we were going the same speed we were on the previous bike on like an aluminium mule that wasn't really set up, you know. So, you know, we saw straight away that the bike was quick, and we saw straight away that it was going to work well.
And it's just a case of fine-tuning it then and getting things in place.
Exactly, yeah. It's all a case of making yourself comfortable on the bike and learning what the bike does and what works and what doesn't work from your previous setup.
Yeah.
Really.
So do you make many adjustments to your damping and sort of your air pressure and stuff?
Yeah, we play with it quite a lot, you know, specific to the tracks. You know, sometimes you've got quite a flat track, there's a lot of pedaling, everything gets firmer, the bike kind of levels, if you like, suspension-wise.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get to a steeper, rougher track and you need the bike to sit down more and the front to hold you up more. You know, you play with the rebound to do with the heat in the temperature, like of the place you're riding. You know, if the track's got a lot of big hits, sometimes you've just got to really ramp the pressure of the fork up and lose that small bump sensitivity. So it's all kind of depends on what you're riding.
And do you think that a lot of that comes from ride feel and your expertise as a rider, or how much of that has come from the data acquisition equipment that you guys use?
It's a combination of everything. You know, we work a lot with Fox early season to get a good base setting, so you're going into the World Cup season with a setting that you can go back to and always revert back to. But you know, at the same time, we have, like you say, data acquisition at the World Cups. You know, I work with Polish Pete, my mechanic, and we really kind of fine-tune those small adjustments. And it's all about getting the bike balanced. You know, whether it's firm or on the softer side, you need it balanced. You need to know exactly that the front is going to match the rear.
Amazing. And I just want to know a few things about your actual setup on a bike. I noticed that you bend your brake levers. So what's the story of that?
Yeah, I just tweak the ends of them. It's quite a curve on the end of the lever, and I like to be able to just slide the finger on and off the lever easily. You know, sometimes you need to just let go of the brakes.
So you don't always cover your brakes?
Not always, no.
Yeah, that's commitment for you there. Yeah. And out back as well, so that's a braking damper, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's basically to take the vibration out of the rear brake. You know, sometimes it can, without it's not a positive feel. So, you know, with that vibration damper on, it really gives the brake a sharp feel, really, really positive, and you really know when you lock the brake on.
That's Atherton's Pro Bike setup. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see an epic ride here at Whistler, click right down here.
And if you want to watch the Atherton's HQ behind the scenes video, click down here.
Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here on the globe. There's a brand new video every single day. And don't forget, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up.